You guys asked over and over and over again for a narwhal cake, so that is what we're making this week. My name is Lori and you are watching The Icing Artist. To make this unicorn of the sea, I'm going to need a sphere cake. Technically a half sphere cake. I divided that cake into 3 layers and started layering that up with my buttercream icing. Of course, once that is all layered up, I'm going to give it a cum coat. Spheres happen to be a very tricky cake to cover in buttercream icing, but super easy to cover in fondant. So once we have this roughly smooth, I'm going to roll out my light blue fondant, wrap that over my rolling pin, and just drape that over my cake, smoothing it out with my hands. Because there is no edges to smooth it around, it is literally the easiest cake in the world to cover in fondant. You don't really even need a fondant smoother for this. You can pretty well do the whole thing with your hands. And then just trimmed off the excess. I always like using a pizza cutter for this. It cuts through the fondant really smoothly, and I find a knife can sometimes cut into my cake board and that leaves like little grease lines and stuff. Hey, if you guys have not subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell. For its mouth, I just wanted to do this little baby smile. So I rolled out my black fondant into like a little log and just kind of curved that. For my narwhal's eyes, I rolled out my black fondant and cut out these big circles. So I wanted to have these big eyes and I added these little white specks onto them. Honestly, originally I started with these oval eyes and it just did not capture the kind of characteristic face I was going for. I noticed that like eyes and mouth and those features can make a huge difference with what you're doing. Now to make this even more cutesy, I just cut out a black strip and then I'm gonna cut those into little pieces and I'm gonna add these cute little eyelashes onto my narwhal. To help pick up these like little tiny fondant details, which I always squish or keep dropping, I just wet my paintbrush slightly and I just stuck it to it and picked it up with that, and I find that works perfect with all these tiny little details. Finished off with these cute little rosy cheeks, which of course is just a little ball that I kind of roll into a little oval and smush. Now for our horn, the easiest way that I find to make horns is to roll out a log of white fondant and have it thick in the middle and then tapered right down to the table on both ends. I cut that in half and then just twist it up to the top and cut off the excess. But to step up this horn to like the next level, I decided to dust it with my pearl dust, which really made it shine. I don't know if it shows up on camera as much as it does in person, but it looks so cute. And I have never used this pearl dust before, so I am loving it. Stuck that into the cake. Now I wanted to make some water droplets that are kind of bursting out of this narwhal, so I just rolled out some darker blue fondant, nice and thick. I then just used this teardrop cutter set I got to cut out different sizes of water drops. I'm gonna stick a little piece of flower wire in them, and that is gonna help them stick up in all these different kind of directions as if the water is just bursting out. This cake is starting to look almost like an animal kawaii cake, which I've made a lot of animal cakes and a lot of kawaii cakes. If you guys want to see both those playlists, just click the eye. Now for this whale tail, I just used my larger teardrop cutter. I cut out 2 halves of it and then just kind of smushed the 2 halves together and trimmed off the bottom. And then just used my veining tool to add some detailed lines into it. So far, I am loving how easy this cake is just coming together. And I basically did the exact same thing with my fins, except for the fins, I just kind of curved that point inwards a bit. I added 2 pieces of flower wire into these so that way they don't twist at all, and then just added those into the cake. I'm gonna be posting so many pictures of this cake over on Instagram, so if you guys aren't following us, make sure to click the link down below and follow us over there. We are going to be doing a big giveaway for hitting 200,000 followers, so make sure to go follow us over on Instagram so you guys don't miss out. And that is it. Our narwhal cake is completely done. I love this cake so much. Thank you guys so much for everybody who requested it. I really appreciate it. And of course, guys, don't forget to come back here again next week so we can make something else in a cake. Bye, guys.